Good day, class. Welcome you to a new class. We are going to take a course called graphic design. And some of us, we have an idea of what graphic design is. So we are going to look at a few things, and one of which is CorelDRAW. CorelDRAW is a software that is basically used for typing, for design, to make green cards, to make greeting cards, and billboard design, and so on and so forth. So we are going to look at a few things. Let me give a rundown of the things we'll look into today. First is CorelDRAW overview. And we'll look at navigating within a document. We'll show hidden palettes using zoom and viewing modes. Now we'll look at CorelDRAW overview. Now I said earlier, this is a software that is basically used for design, most especially. And the navigating within a document is simply processing or scanning through the documents to know what makes it up. And first thing we are going to look at is the first bar. Now you should have in mind that CorelDRAW is divided into bars and navigating button. And the first thing we are going to look at is the first bar. The first bar is called the title bar. The title bar bears the name of the document. If you take a look at this, we have CorelDRAW X3. There are so many CorelDRAW. We have CorelDRAW X4, X5, X6, X7, and so on. But this is CorelDRAW X3. Why it is used is because it is friendly user. It is a friendly user software. That means it is easier to use. And we are going to look at the title bar. The title bar, what comprises of the title bar is the file, the edit, the view, layout, arrange, effects, bitmap, text, tool, window, help. All of these things have other items embedded in it. All of this, if you look at it very well, there are some other items embedded in it. We have the standard toolbar, or you can call it the property bar. If you take a look at this, when I click on the file, you see what appears. When I click on this one, you see what appears. You see, if you take a look at the property bar, it's actually changing. So the first bar is the title bar. We have the menu bar. We have the property bar or the standard toolbar. And we have the toolbox. And this right over here is the color palette. The color palette. This is where you get your colors, your different colors. You pick a different color. And you can set up the color to the way you want it. You can hide the color by clicking here. And this is called the navigating button. Navigating button. You can centralize it. You can push it left, right, and center. This is the scroll bar. And we are going to look at a very few things now. As I said earlier, this is the navigating button. So this is the zoom tool. Are you seeing? I'm increasing it. I'm reducing it. You can do that by picking a zoom tool here, and you left click on it and drag. Left click on it and drag. Are you seeing it? So now we are going to look at the first thing here, which is the pick tool. And now what is the function of the pick tool? We'll look at the shape tool, the function of the shape tool. We'll look at the crop tool. We look at the zoom tool. We look at the freehand, smart fit tool, rectangular tool. We have the ellipse. We have the polygon. We have the basic shape, text tool. We have the interactive blend tool. We have the eyedropper tool. We have the outline tool. We have the fill tool. We have the interactive tool. Now, if you take a look at this closely, you will notice that from this pick tool to the last one, which is the interactive fill tool, you will notice something. You will notice an arrow pointing down. Aside the first one, which is the pick tool, the rest of which you have an arrow pointing down. This arrow pointing down signifies that there are some other tools inside. There are some other tools inside. Look at them. When I click on, don't forget, you are left clicking. If you want to pick a tool, if you want to make use of a tool, you will left click. Look at them. When I click on any of this tool, inside of this tool, there are so many other tools. So now, we'll look at Using the drawing tool, this is our lesson 2. Don't forget, we've looked at the CorelDRAW overview, we've looked at the navigating within the document. Navigating simply means viewing the document from different sides. We look at the show hide palette. The hide palette is, if you take a look at your right hand side, you'll see the color palette. The color palette, now if you want to change the color palette, you can come to this window, you click on this color palette, you look at it, we have default CMYK palette. CMYK palette, you see when I click on this part, you see the same color palette appear. But take a look at it very well. When I click on uniform colors, you see what happens? Each and every color are arranged in order of their colors. Why this one is randomly arranged, and this one is all arranged in order of their colors. So when you want to get a color, you click on the window, you click on color palette, and you choose the color. You see the part that indicates this good sign. This sign here, that is to tell you that this one is functioning. This one is visible. When I click back on this one, you see one of them has gone out. I can go back and click on the other one. The other has gone out. So when, for instance, when you open a document and you find out that there are some things missing, you can just come to this place, especially the color palette. You might be working on a document and you can't find the color palette. So you can come to window, color palette, and you click. But I will advise you, because by default, it is always like this. I will advise you anytime you want to make or create a design, you come to this color palette and select uniform colors. Uniform colors. Now, if you take a look at these uniform colors are arranged in order of the color they have. Look at it. It is not randomly arranged. It is arranged in the order of color they have. That is for show/hidden palettes. We are going to look at using the zoom viewing tool. I've said that earlier. If you want to zoom, if you're using a mouse, there is what they call the ball, or you can call it the row button, the ball, the mouse, this one that is freely moved. You can just slide it up to zoom and slide down to zoom out. Slide it up to zoom in and slide down to zoom out. If that is difficult, you can just come to this. You see where you have the zoom tool. You click on it and you click on zoom tool, and you can just be clicking on it. When you left click, it will zoom in. You right click, it will zoom out. Left click, zoom in. Right click, zoom out. Now you look at this. We also have this, which is called the hand tool. The hand tool is to move the drawing window. And if you take a look at the drawing window, it is this triangular section here. If you're working on any document, make sure that whatever you're doing, it will be on this. You can decide to design in this environment, because all these are called the drawing environment. The drawing environment is that space that is created specifically for design. But why this one is set aside is because after designing anything and you want to print it, this is the part that the system or the printer recognizes. So after designing, you can place your object or your design on this square-like shape. Apparently it is square-like shape. On this square-like shape, when you place it here, then you can print your design. Now look at this. This is the hand tool, as the word implies, hand. And sometimes when you find it difficult naming one of these two, most of the times the tool, what is written in the tool will tell you exactly what that tool is, the function of the tool. Now what if I click here? I click on this zoom tool. I know some of us who might be conversant with the zoom tool, so you can just click on the zoom tool. Don't forget, this one is to drag the drawing window to the position you desire, and this one is to zoom in and zoom out, maintaining the position of the drawing window. Don't forget, it is called the drawing environment, and this is called the drawing window. So that is that for this class, and the next class we are going to look into creating basic shape. I will go further to explain what this shape from the beginning to the end. I will go further to explain what it means. But don't forget our title bar, our menu bar, our standard toolbar, color palette. We have the screw button or screw bar, and we have the toolbox. And I've shown you how to get your colors. So on our next class, we'll look at how to create basic objects. But before then, we have to learn how to make use of this tool. So thank you. See you in our next class.